Thank you, Rob. Okay. So I am not a fisher person. When I was a kid, my cousins, who really are very avid fishers, loved it, and they tried to get me. They took me out on the lake one day, and I made my cousin bait the hook, and it just creeped me out. So anyway, so I don't have any good fishing stories, but I bet you do. And even if you do or you don't like to fish for real, and I'm glad we've got some fishers out there, that you still have to figure out and to fish spiritually in the sea of divine ideas, right? And that's what the story today is about that we're going to be looking at in the Bible. It's about going fishing. And it's about some people, Jesus' disciples, who were professional fishermen, right? That's what they had done in their lives. And so after Jesus' crucifixion and after the resurrection, even though they had, they'd already seen, Mary Magdalene had seen Jesus once in the garden, and then Jesus had appeared to the disciples 2 more times when they were together, but they still didn't quite get it, right? They still didn't quite accept this reality of his resurrection. Now, it's important, and I want to always emphasize that everybody needs to come up with their own understanding of resurrection, and there are lots of ways to understand it, and there's no one right way. It may be you understand it as very literal. It may be that you understand it as symbolical. It may be that you understand it as mystical. It may be that you understand it as allegorical. It doesn't matter. You have to work that out. Everybody's got to work that out for themselves. But one thing is clear, that in whatever way you understand Jesus' resurrection, what we see happening in the Bible and what was really the nucleus of what has become that Christian path or that Jesus Christ path is that something happened, that the people that had been following him got it. They realized in some very, very profound ways that even though he had suffered, that he had died in a terrible way, that their hopes had been dashed because they had really hoped he was going to liberate everybody in a very physical way. They still thought that was going to happen. They thought it was all about politics. How about that? Okay. And he kept telling them, no, this has nothing to do with that. This has to do with spiritual life. This has to do with spiritual life. So anyway, they thought it was all over. But something kept happening to them, something inside of them, perhaps encounters with Jesus in some realm, encounters with the reality that no, it wasn't all over at all, that in fact, it was just beginning, right? It was just beginning. The power of life within them and within all people was just beginning, because even the most terrible suffering, even the greatest injustice could not stamp out life. That's the Jesus Christ message. It's what he came for, it's what he taught, it's what he lived, and it's what he lives now in the spiritual atmosphere of this planet. Again, however you understand that is okay. Everybody has to come to their own grips with that and their own way of conceptualizing what that is. But one way or the other, the message is that life goes on, that there's always the next open door. That's the reality of spirituality, that there is nothing on the material plane that can stop the robust expression of life.